Hey, what's going on, guys? Today I want to spend some time just to talk about some of the basic little essential things that are in my camera backpack. A lot of small little tools that make things a lot easier when I'm out doing photography gigs or videography gigs as well. So let's go ahead and hop into it. Alright, so first up, one of the basic things that I always keep is 2 memory cards with me. So I have one that's my 128 gigabyte memory card. That one I pretty much keep in there all the time, but just in case that one's full or if there's an issue, I keep a backup with a 32 gig. So that's always what I have. So next in my bag is my zoom lens. This one is a 55 to 210. It's also by Sony. This one's stabilized, so that helps for especially when I'm doing video. I really like it, especially on my crop sensor lens or camera that I have. This is probably more like a almost 80 mil to like 230 or so. So it's perfect when I don't want to be really close to someone, but I still want to be able to get some close-up shots. It's good for portraits too. I like it. And then if I'm doing any like event photography or event video work, I could be pretty far back and still get close-up shots of everyone or get some wide shots, I guess you could say. So this baby is always in my bag. I love it. It's a really good, solid zoom lens that I like. What else we got? So this little thing here, it's really cheap, but it's very helpful. So I use this to be able to like blow air on the sensor as well as just on the lens sometimes and things like that if I'm not using a cloth. But this is what I definitely use pretty often. So another thing that's very essential for me to have is batteries. So I keep 4 total with me all the time. I'm always making sure they're charged up. That way I don't have any issues with running out of battery. So these are the ones that I use. It's the Sony NP-FW50. So these come with the camera, and then I went on Amazon and got some that are like knockoff versions of those, but they work really fine. I don't have any issues. So that's definitely something to keep in my bag. Alright, so this here is pretty random, but this is the dongle for the iPhone. So I use this just as a backup in case I need to record from my phone and I can't record in my camera for any random reason. Or if I'm using the Sony A6000 as a backup, sometimes I'll keep this too just so I can always be able to capture audio and just plug in my regular Rode Video Mic Pro into this one. So this is something I always keep in there just in case for any reason I can't record into my A6300. And most people have seen these even if they don't know what they're called, and this is the Joby. This is the 3K or 1K. It's pretty small, so this is perfect for mirrorless cameras. This lets you be able to do, you know, basically like I guess you could say selfie mode or, you know, vlogging mode or whatever, anything like that. I also use it just if I need to like put the camera on somewhere very small, or if I needed to like wrap it around, you know, something. I can do that pretty easily with this because it's very flexible and also gives you the stability that you need. Like this won't really move, so it's really solid. You put it in one place, it stays, and then if you needed it to like wrap around into something crazy, you can do that, or go back to straight up, you know, vlog mode and just have the camera on here like that. It's not stable or nothing like that, but it's very like solid. So depending on what kind of camera you're shooting on, or even if you're shooting on a phone, this is something that's great to have. And this is how I first got it, because before I got a real camera, I guess you could say, I was shooting everything on my phone that I was getting, so this was something that I had. So since I bought it for that reason, it has a couple of adapters that come in handy. So one of those adapters basically lets me be able to put a cell phone on it, which I'll show you in a second. So it has that adapter, which is cool because it, you know, swivels, so I could lock it in place, tilted in any direction or anything like that. So that I always keep on me. And then this top part here is where you'd actually put the phone. So for example, if I was wanting to not have my camera with me but have a little like extra length, then I could have my cell phone attached on here, be able to vlog or shoot anything. And then what's cool about this one too is it rotates here on the back. Let me just do that. So for example, if I wanted it to be this direction, I could do it, or if I wanted to rotate it the other way, I could make it long. So it's really cool to have that. And then this comes in handy for work because we do a lot of like Facebook Lives and stuff like that. So it comes in handy to be able to have something for my phone and of course for the camera. So this always stays in my bag. It's really handy to have this just for backup stuff and all that jazz. So it's really cool. What else we got? Alright, so this here is another very inexpensive item. I think it was like 16 bucks or something like that, but this comes in handy a lot. And this basically mounts onto what's called the cold shoe mount on top of the camera or the middle of the camera. It could be on the side on yours, but most of the time it's right in the middle. And this you just slide into where the middle portion of the camera is, I'm sorry, the hot shoe mount, one of those. Anyway, so you put that in there, and then this has 3 different adapters or places for you to put items in. So a microphone could go here. You could put portable lighting inside of these, and these are just really popular setups. So if you need to put something on there, I have 3 spaces that I could do it and be able to have more attached to it. So inexpensive, but definitely a must have in your bag. That way you can start adapting different things like lights and all that good stuff. Okay, something else that's inexpensive and not really like camera related as you may think, but it's these tools here. So these come in handy to be able to tighten up like my tripod legs or different things like that. And I have the different sizes, so if it was something like on my camera or something like I said on the tripod or anything like that, I'd be able to tighten up some of those bolts and stuff. So this is definitely a must-have, and I mean you can get this for like $1 or something, but it's these small tools that you need to have that are not always necessarily camera related, but they help you to be able to get the jobs done. And another random thing would be these USB cables here. This is USB to, I don't even know what the end is, but basically like for my Aputure MF or M9 lights that I have, this powers those, this powers the camera, so I just keep a couple extras of these. That way if I forget a cable at home or anything like that, I have backup to be able to charge or transfer data and stuff like that. So definitely a must have. And then the other things that I haven't been using as much lately, but ever since I got the Aputure 120D Mark II, but these babies here have been a lifesaver over the past year. So it's the Aputure AL M9 portable lights. I have 2 of these. So this cover here is magnetic, so it gives me the option to be able to put some of these like filters on. So this one here will diffuse the light, and then if I want to use this type of gel, it comes with basically your cool light, or if you want to warm it up, it comes in this like goldish color too. So all of those just stick on there basically, and then you can just do it. But I typically won't use like all of those ever. I'll use like the white one or maybe the blue or gold by itself. So that's something that I keep in my bag. That way if I'm doing something where it's an event or I'm just filming someone close up and the lighting changes quite a bit, if I have that on top of my camera, it'll brighten up things pretty quickly. So it's pretty cool. And these were about 50 bucks or so, but they help a lot in filming situations. So as you can see, it's super bright. You can adjust it and do all that. So it's really cool to have. So one other thing that I keep in my bag is this refuel battery charger. So this is where I put those portable Sony batteries into here, and then I can charge it on the wall. And what's also cool is that they have the little USB port for it. So then if I just need to plug it into the computer and run power through those little cables that I have, like these ones, then I could plug it right in there, put it into like any place basically where USB is. So that's how I can get power, or if I wanted to just do the wall, I could do that too. So this stays in my bag, that way I can keep everything charged up. And the other 2 things that I have would be these circular polarizing filters, which basically, like they say, are like sunglasses for the camera lens. So I'll kind of demonstrate that now. So this would basically screw, just put it on there so you can get an idea. So this here would screw onto the camera lens itself. And this is used for when you're shooting outdoors, especially when the lighting is like anytime after like noon, basically the lighting's really harsh. It's nice for the average person, but when you're filming or doing photography, the camera doesn't like that type of direct light as much. So then any like super white spots, like let's say it's a partly cloudy day, so this will filter out the clouds and make it where they're like a lot more vibrant and blue and sharp instead of it just being completely white. And then all of your very dark colors, those will get raised up and balanced. So then you have just a cleaner, sharper look, and then it brings out the most vivid color. So that's how this would go. And just to show you kind of the difference it gives, which would be like this. Okay, so that's without it. That's with it. But you get the idea that it changes the colors and also makes it more vivid. And then it's circular because you can literally spin and then adjust which areas are highlighted and which ones are balanced out and all that. So that's one of those things that's really good to have if you're going to be doing a lot of outdoor shooting, because you can't always shoot at golden hour and you can't always shoot early in the morning. So with that, you can get at least some decent quality, footage and photography stuff. So. And then I keep one of those for my kit lens too, so it's obviously smaller. They come in different sizes. This one I got just at Best Buy. I'm sure there's a lot better versions, but at least it's something to start with. It was like 15 bucks. And then I have the other one for the kit lens, which was about the same price. So it's one of those like cheap accessories that just kind of help your projects look a lot better, and just gives you the chance to see the difference between when you don't have these little things versus when you do. You can really like help out your content quite a bit. So that's something else that I keep in my bag. And another thing which you may have seen in one of my other videos is this Samsung T5 portable SSD. This one is a 500 gigabyte. They do have higher storage spaces like 1 terabyte and 2 terabyte, but because it's SSD, it's a lot more expensive because that is newer technology. So the 500 gigabyte is going to be like your most inexpensive item. Versus getting, the 2 terabyte, I think that one's probably over 200 bucks. So it gets pricey pretty quickly. But if you get a 500 gig and then you just kind of transfer the data that you need on there and then delete what you don't need after you back it up, this is a good option to have. So I keep this with me all the time. Cool. And as far as editing goes, I use the MacBook Pro. This is the 2017 edition, I believe. So it has the i7 Intel processor, which is pretty good. This one just has 8 gigabytes of RAM and then 128 gigabits of on the SSD. So it's not the biggest storage, but I mean, it's good enough for me to get things done without, paying a whole lot more for that higher storage. So this is what I use to edit all of my photos, all of my videos. I've had it, no issues. I keep the software just as is. I haven't done any like of the big updates because some of those just don't work as good with like older editions of the Macs. And I've had Macs since, the like 2013. And when I did update to like the newer softwares, like this hardware just wasn't, the hardware at that time for that MacBook just wasn't as good. So now I just keep it on whatever software it came with when I bought it. I just let that run and never update. I know there's security updates and stuff that get on there, but I'd rather just work with a faster system than trying to keep up to date on the latest software for the Macs in particular, just in my experience. So this is my baby and that's what I use. Okay, and then one other small thing that is important and that is the actual bag. So when I'm out doing my gigs, this is what I keep with me. It's the Sony camera bag that came, it was like a kit that I got when I bought my camera. So this one here is really small and I like it. It's not too big. Some of them like are really wide and tall and they just look like grandpa cases. This one I like because it's just chill, it's small, still has like all the little functions that I need, and it's just a nice, simple, clean setup. And for the average person, they're not gonna think you have like a super expensive camera in here anyway, so that's another nice part. It's low key, but you would think this is like, I don't know, someone's like a mom's camera bag or something, but I like it. Pretty small and it gets the job done. So this is what I'll be rocking for a long time. Cool, so that is it. That's all that I keep in my bag. Oh, one other thing. Which I'll do another review on the bag itself, because this bag is really cheap. I think it was only like 30 bucks from like Nordstrom Rack or something, and it's not a camera bag, but it has so many functions. So I'll do a review on this, but I think it's a really great alternative for someone that's not trying to drop like 200 bucks on an official camera backpack. This one has a lot of storage. This is the Cowpack backpack. It's very basic, just black, simple, comes in different colors, but another time I'll show you guys what the inside looks like, because it has a lot of storage space, which doesn't really happen in a backpack that's 30 bucks. This one's really clean, got the handle and all that good stuff, so I'll show that in another video. Alright, well, thanks for watching. Catch you guys later. Peace.